How the USA became a superpower after WI. The United States emerged from World War II as the most powerful nation in the world, both economically and militarily. While many nations were left devastated by the war, the US experienced unprecedented economic growth, military expansion, and political influence. This article explores the key factors that contributed to America's rise as a superpower following World War II. Economic strength and industrial growth during the war. The United States had ramped up its industrial production to support the Allied forces. By the time the war ended in 1945, the country had an economic infrastructure that far surpassed that of any other nation. The war had revitalized American industry, pulling it out of the Great Depression and leaving it in a position of global dominance. Post-war economic boom. The post-war period, known as the Golden Age of capitalism, saw significant economic expansion. The gross domestic product, GDP, of the U.S. soared as industries shifted from wartime production to consumer goods. Factories that once produced tanks and aircraft were converted to manufacture automobiles, household appliances, and electronics. This transition fueled a booming consumer culture that solidified the U.S. economic dominance. The Marshall Plan. The Marshall Plan, officially called the European Recovery Program, ERP, was a U.S. initiative launched in 1948 to aid Western Europe in rebuilding after World War II. It was named after George C. Marshall, the U.S. Secretary of State who proposed it. Purpose: to help European countries recover. Amount: the U.S. provided $13 billion, equivalent to over $100 billion today, in economic assistance. Beneficiaries: mainly Western European countries, including the United Kingdom, France, West Germany, Italy, and others. Impact: O helped European economies recover rapidly. O strengthened U.S. influence in Europe. O contributed to the Cold War tensions, as the Soviet Union and Eastern Bloc countries rejected the aid. Military superiority and nuclear arsenal. The end of World War II marked the beginning of the nuclear age, with the U.S. being the only country to have used nuclear weapons in combat. The possession of atomic bombs solidified American military dominance and acted as a deterrent against potential adversaries. The Cold War and arms race, the Cold War, which emerged almost immediately after WII, saw the U.S. and the Soviet Union competing for global influence. The U.S. invested heavily in military technology, including nuclear weapons, aircraft carriers, and intercontinental ballistic missiles, ICBMs. The formation of NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization, in 1949 further solidified U.S. military alliances and global reach. Korean War and military interventions. The Korean War 1950-1953 was the first major military conflict of the Cold War. The U.S. led a United Nations coalition to counter North Korean aggression, demonstrating its willingness to use military force to contain communism. Subsequent conflicts, such as the Vietnam War and interventions in the Middle East, reinforced America's military footprint worldwide. Political influence and leadership. The United States played a leading role in establishing the post-war international order. American leadership in forming institutions like the United Nations, UN, the International Monetary Fund, IMF, and the World Bank demonstrated its commitment to global governance and economic stability. Political influence and leadership of America. The United States has been the most influential political power in the world since World War II, shaping global policies, economies, and conflicts. Its leadership is based on military strength, economic power, diplomacy, and cultural influence. Military power and global leadership. Largest military budget, over $800 billion annually, funding advanced weaponry, defense systems, and global military bases. Strongest military alliances, NATO, AUKUS, Quad, help the U.S. maintain influence. Intervention in global conflicts. U.S. has led or participated in wars in Korea. Military bases worldwide, over 750 bases in 80-plus countries ensure global dominance. Economic leadership. Largest economy, $26 plus trillion GDP, drives global markets and trade. Dollar as the global currency. The U.S. dollar is the world's reserve currency, used in most international transactions. Influence over global institutions. IMF, World Bank, and WTO operate largely under U.S. policy. Tech and corporate influence, companies like Apple, Google, Microsoft, Tesla shape global business and innovation. Political and diplomatic power, permanent UN Security Council member, holds veto power in global decisions. Democracy promotion, supports democratic movements worldwide, sometimes controversially. Foreign aid and sanctions, uses economic tools to pressure nations, e.g. sanctions on Russia, Iran, North Korea. Soft power influence, Hollywood, media, and U.S. universities shape global perspectives. Leadership in
10,
technology
9,
and innovation. Pioneers in AI,
7,
space, and cybersecurity.
6,
NASA,
5,
SpaceX, and
4,
DARPA lead
3,
global advancements.
2,
Silicon
1.
Valley dominance. The U.S.
Ignition.
leads in tech,
Liftoff
AI, and
of Ares
cybersecurity
1X.
policies.
Testing
Internet
concepts
control.
for
Many
the
of
future
world's
of
internet
new
services
rocket
and
design.
data centers are U.S.-based. Role in global crises. Climate change leadership. Paris Agreement, though the U.S. has had inconsistent participation. Pandemic response. Major funding for global health but faced criticism during COVID-19. Humanitarian aid. Billions in disaster relief and international assistance every year. The United Nations and Bretton Woods system, the UN, established in 1945, was headquartered in New York, symbolizing the U.S.'s central role in global diplomacy. The Bretton Woods Conference, 1944, created a financial system that positioned the U.S. dollar as the world's primary reserve currency, giving the U.S. immense economic influence. Containment policy and the Truman Doctrine, 1947, outlined the U.S. policy of containing communism. This doctrine led to economic and military aid to nations threatened by Soviet influence, further extending American power and ensuring alignment with Western democratic ideals. Technological and scientific advancements, the U.S. became the epicenter of technological innovation in the post-war era. The space race against the Soviet Union led to significant advancements in aerospace technology, culminating in the moon landing in 1969. The rise of Silicon Valley, the post-war period, also saw the foundation of what would become Silicon Valley. American investments in research and development led to breakthroughs in computing, telecommunications, and medical sciences, further solidifying the U.S. global technological supremacy. Cultural influence and soft power. Beyond economic and military power, the U.S. exerted significant cultural influence worldwide. The rise of Hollywood, American music, and consumer brands shaped global culture, spreading American values and ideals across the world. The power of Hollywood became the world's leading film industry, producing movies that showcased American lifestyles, values, and political ideals. Films often depicted democracy, capitalism, and freedom as superior to communism, reinforcing American ideological dominance. The power of Hollywood is more than just an entertainment industry, it's a global powerhouse that shapes culture, politics, and economics. From blockbuster films to TV shows, Hollywood influences how people think, dress, and even perceive history and global events. Cultural influence and soft power. Hollywood movies and TV shows dominate international markets, shaping global trends in fashion, language, and lifestyle. American culture, values of freedom, individualism, and heroism, is exported worldwide through films. Iconic franchises like Marvel, Star Wars, and Harry Potter have massive global fandoms. Political and social impact. Films like Schindler's List, 1993, and 12 Years a Slave, 2013, educate people on historical events. Hollywood has influenced public opinion on topics like civil rights, LGBTQ+ rights, war, and climate change. Celebrities often use their platforms for activism and political movements. Economic power. The U.S. film industry generates over $100 billion annually. Blockbusters like Avatar and Avengers Endgame have earned billions worldwide. Hollywood sets the standard for filmmaking, influencing industries in Bollywood, Nollywood, and other global film industries. Technology and innovation. Hollywood pioneered VFX, CGI, and animation. Pixar, ILM, Weta Digital. Streaming platforms, Netflix, Disney+, Amazon Prime, are revolutionizing how people consume content. Advances in virtual production, The Mandalorian's LED stagecraft, are changing filmmaking. Global reach and dominance, Hollywood movies are released in multiple languages across over 150 countries. The Oscars, Academy Awards, are considered the most prestigious film awards globally. Even local industries, like Bollywood, are influenced by Hollywood storytelling, marketing, and production techniques. Hollywood remains the most influential entertainment industry in the world, shaping global culture, politics, and economies. With new technologies and streaming platforms, its reach is only expanding. Would you like details on Hollywood's influence on a specific country, industry, or movement? The expansion of American corporations, companies like Coca-Cola, McDonald's, and Ford became global brands, symbolizing the American way of life. The spread of these brands helped promote American economic and cultural hegemony worldwide. Conclusion: the United States became a superpower after World War II due to a combination of economic strength, military superiority, political leadership, technological advancements, and cultural influence. Its ability to rebuild itself while aiding other nations solidified its position as the dominant global force. Despite challenges from emerging powers, the foundations laid in the post-war era continue to shape America's role in the world today. Enjoyed the video? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more awesome content. Hit the